2-on-1 BYU football all access from the spring with the defensive coordinator, Elisa Tuiaki. Everything from Madden football play calling discussed to what's the update on Big Mo Langi? Check it out. I want to start with a video game question because we were just talking about that.
Dude, you don't want to start me on video games. It depends how far back you want to go. I played video games now.
Okay.
You probably played video games at an arcade.
You know, arcade, I didn't have quarters back. I didn't have anything. But, you know, you go to a friend's house, play the Nintendo, any of that stuff, I'm playing. Yeah, I can play.
Now you've opened up a whole box of questions in my mind.
Okay.
But we'll start with this. If you are good at Madden football, does that make you a better defensive coordinator?
Not necessarily. It's probably the question needs to be reversed. If you're a good coordinator, you're going to be good at Madden, and you'd understand the concepts better.
Okay.
But you know, hand-eye coordination and getting guys to do things is a little bit harder. So I was up in the lounge watching a couple of players play. One guy comes out in goal line offense, and you know it's a run. The other guy comes out in a dime package defense. Like, dude, they're going to run all over you. And so I was telling the guy on goal line, I was like, dude, just hurry up offense. Just keep his defense on the field and keep running it. But he was like, no, watch me stop him. And he's got all these corners on the field trying to stop goal line run. Like, do you not pay attention in meetings?
So basically what you're saying is being a coordinator has completely ruined the fun of video games.
Probably.
You can't look at it any other way.
They kept kind of looking up at me, waiting for me to leave.
Yes. I'm so glad we asked this question. It's opened up some gold. How about actual football? And I want to take you back to, I think it was a week ago today, when you said, man, the defense, we got our butts kicked by the offense today. How has the last week or so of spring ball been in trying to rectify some of the things that concerned you last week?
Yeah, it's been about the same, actually. I mean, I don't know how long you guys were out here, but I think the offense is doing a really good job with the development of their young talent, and we've got young talent too. We've got guys who's, we've got bodies that we like and personalities that we like, but they're not where we need to be yet. And there's guys that we're counting on to play in the fall. And so, we're giving those young guys more reps than we are the veteran guys, because we know what they can do. We want to keep guys out like, Corbin and Butch and Sean and those guys. But the young guys have got to step up, like Christian Folau, the young D tackles, Lorenzo Falatea and Kanu Salipanga. They have to play well in order for us to play well in the fall. And right now we're not where we need to be defensively.
Well, following up on that, not where you need to be, I know when you guys kind of schedule out what spring looks like, it's a progression and you're trying to add more things to get progressively better. Are you at least where you would want to be on the defensive side at this point of spring?
I would still say no, but I think that's directly tied into the weight room. I think that we've got to get bigger and stronger up front, and we got the bodies, but their development is key. And Newell's doing a good job. They've come a long way, but in order for us to match the intensity of the offense and where they're at, I mean, those guys are just much stronger. I mean, they're all big, right, across the board. The young pups are all big, but we've got to get more physical up front in order to change things. And then the backers and the DBs just need to have more reps. They just have to see more things and react more and see it on film and make those corrections. But it doesn't really matter up front to see the corrections. You just have to be big, physical, and strong in order for you to compete at this level, and we're not there yet with the young pups. And so, there's still a long way to go for them.
Okay, so it's clear the young guys, you want to get bigger and gain experience and reps through spring ball, but you do bring some solid experience back, and you've moved some experienced guys to new positions, whether it be Diane Gawoliku back to safety, Sione Takitaki to linebacker, Zane Anderson up from safety to linebacker. What's the strength of the team after all of those position moves?
I mean, when those guys are all on the field at the same time, it's we look a lot better. And the experience, I think, for one, but they're all just physically a little bit farther ahead than everybody else. And then having the game experience and the poise to be able to do all that is huge. The backers, I think, are the ones that we're excited about. I think that Zane is, replacing a Fred Warner is impossible, right? But getting somebody like Zane, who's really good in space and starting to come along in his development as far as gaining weight and all that, has been really good for us. I mean, he's done a really good job. We're pleased with him, and a lot of the scrimmages we'll hold him out, because losing a Zane or a Butch or even a Shane changes us on defense so much that we don't even risk it for them to scrimmage right now. And it's the same with Corbin, you know. But though I think when everybody's on the field and we're healthy, I mean, super excited about Diane, super excited about Troy moving from corner to safety. I think that those guys give us something that we haven't had in the past, as far as having that speed, but also just guys that are good ball players, you know. We've lost a lot of good safeties in the past with, you know, Micah just recently, but then Kai and Nakul before that. And I think that those guys moving from corner to safety is going to be good. We've got to get the development of our corners, you know, to catch up with everybody else. And so love Chris and where he's at. Think that he's going to be a solid player. Chris Wilcox.
Yeah.
Keenan Ellis, who redshirted last year, is going to be a really good player for us. Mike Shelton's been playing well as well. And Travion Green's getting better. And so, you know, we've got a lot of guys that are there that we feel are true corners, and move some of the guys that we think are going to be safeties for their future to safety. And Shane Taktaki's too small to play DN in the NFL. And that's just the truth. And he knows it and understood it. When he moved, he's so natural playing backer.
Yeah. Does he feel better?
I think so. You know, I think last year when we were doing a lot of our different fronts and moving things around, and we moving from DN to backer, he was just so smooth and so natural. And so I mean, the move looks like he's been playing backer his whole life, and I'm excited for him. I think he's such a disruptive force that having him here is going to be good for us.
You and Kalani both have a history of having success and being able to look at somebody and say, you know, even if it's from one side of the football to the other or within the same side, switching positions like we were just talking about. How does that process begin? How does that start? Does it start with just a comment like, you know, I really think this guy could you know, do well at linebacker? How does that process start in changing somebody's position?
You know, I think Kalani needs to get credit for all of that. You know, he comes in, he has an eye for that, eye for talent, an eye for just seeing guys at different levels, and it always hasn't been here. You know, other places that we've been, it's always worked out where kids have moved positions and you know, future in the NFL, and actually still some of them still playing in the NFL. And I think that Kalani's got an eye for that. And I'm just trying to be obedient to him, you know. When he says, I think this guy can do this, we're like, all right, we'll move him today, you know. And so, you know, he's got an eye for it. He sees a guy doing things, and you know, we're just trying to really, for us, get the best players on the field with the development of some of the young DNs, and having Shane Taktaki and Corbin. You're just like, well, shoot, man, we're going to have some really good DNs that are still standing on the sideline where maybe, you know, some of the backers, Shane would be better at them than backer. You know, it's just that kind of movement. And so you let the competitions develop, and a guy ends up taking it over and owning it, and we just go from there.
What is the latest from the Mo Langi camp and his status in development?
He's developing, all right? We're talking about young pups who need to develop. He's developing. He's learning to get more physical. He's learning to move his feet, use his hands, all that stuff. And, excuse me, he's got a long way to go. But the biggest thing is really just need to lose weight. You know, he was way too big, and he's done a really good job. He's under 400 now.
Oh, so he has lost some significant weight.
He's lost like close to 50 maybe, or a little bit more than that.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
50 pounds. I was going to say he looks slimmer.
Yeah, relative. It's all relative. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
No,
funny.
he's coming along, and I think really for just. I don't know if he's going to have a shot to play in the next level, right? And we're all realistic with him, and he knows. But for his future as a human being and as a father and all that, I mean, to be able to get on a lifestyle that'll take care of him for the rest of his life, at least the longevity of his life and his joints and all that. I mean, that's right now. That's kind of the focus to get him where he can be happier.
Is Mo, or maybe it's somebody else, when people come up to you on the street and want to ask about a player, who are they usually asking about? Is Mo one of those guys that gets asked a lot about?
Mo's number one. Yeah, Mo's number one. They don't really ask about anybody else, right? They ask me about the quarterback. I don't know even who the quarterbacks are. Like, you're asking the wrong person. Mo's number one.
I've learned an important thing as we end this interview. When the offense comes out in a goal line set, don't run a dime defense.
Get those corners off the field. put 10 D linemen on the field and see if you can stop them.
Okay, we were all learning today. Pete, great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks for having me.